Anthropic returned back access to Fable 5.
It's over!
Bro, we're cooked!
It's gonna take my job.
Look at the website I created.
Sounds familiar? And in this video you will see demystifying Fable 5 and why a new Claude model is 90% of marketing, how to correctly prompt the new model and how to make Opus 4.8 perform like Fable 5. What Fable 5 built me in a one-shot prompt and why it's so far from what we hear from AI influencers. A comparison on the launch product what Fable 5 built in 2 days with my guide rails and without them. And 3 secret ingredients only humans can generate. Let's begin. I didn't have time to test Fable 5 in the first wave, which finished in a few days because a US government blocked it. Someone there just thought it threatens national security. My version is that some official's kid probably just pasted his crypto-seed phrase into the Claude conversation and it leaked his multi-million-dollar wallet. Not sure that's an acceptable joke for US platform. Anyway, Anthropic probably has experienced the biggest facepalm in the industry. The directive told them to immediately block Fable 5 and Mythos 5 for any foreign national, including their own employees, because someone revealed a method of bypassing or jailbreaking Fable 5. Anthropic reviewed that and basically said it was nothing special, it was just a narrow trick where you ask the model to read some code and find software flaws. Anthropic confirms these were previously known minor vulnerabilities that other models like GPT 5.5 can already find without any jailbreak at all. Moreover, this capability is used every day by defenders to keep systems safe. But July 1st it returned back and you can use it within your Max subscription. But only until 7th July, by the way it extended until 12th, and not more than 50% of your weekly limit. After that, you can still use it, but on a credit usage base with the following pricing. I decided to test the most advertised capabilities of Fable 5 by trying to build a quite big product in one shot. These capabilities include long horizon autonomy, reliable multi-agent delegation and orchestration, and first-shot correctness on complex systems. The application I'm building called C'est chaud à Paris, which translated from French like it's hot in Paris. If you are living there or just read recent news, France experienced a record heatwave and people just don't know how to deal with that. 90% of flats literally don't have AC. So I decided to build a website which helps to survive in these conditions. Daily advices of fresh places to work, study, spend time with family, real-time shadows calculations, stock availability alerts for cooling equipments like portable ACs, ventilator and many other stuff. Meteo in real time, alerts about dangerous conditions and guides, social mechanics like accounts, commentaries, posts, chats, sharing and many others. All of that I described as much detail as possible in a large product specification file about 15 pages. Before the video I covered this process in my Telegram channel, and if you want to see what happens in my work and life daily, you can find link in the description. Just before a few moments I was ready to feed my product document to Claude, I found an official Anthropic guide how to prompt Fable 5. It focuses on teaching you how to get the most out of the model's increased autonomy. Instead of heavily controlling the model with detailed step-by-step instructions like people did with Opus 4.8, the guide pushes you to give Fable 5 more freedom to work independently for long periods. It focuses heavily on preventing the model from stopping too early, hallucinating progress, over-engineering solutions, or losing track during complex multi-step work. A big part of the guide is also about building supporting systems around the model, such as using sub-agents, external memory, and self-verification, rather than relying only on the model's raw intelligence. So with my product spec file, I've added also some techniques from this guide. And that's where I started asking myself why I can't give all these abilities to other models like Opus 4.8. Most of the advanced capabilities Anthropic advertises with Fable 5 are not purely coming from the model being dramatically smarter. They are heavily enabled by better prompting strategies, agent scaffolding, external memory systems, and strict behavioral constraints. The thing that finally killed me is that some coding routine tasks Fable 5 delegates to Opus 4.8. And that's interesting how much tasks it considers as routine. Okay, maybe I don't understand anything about all these technologies, so let's see them in action. I fed to Claude my product specification document, the instructions Anthropic advised in their guide, and left my laptop while preparing to sleep. After about an hour just before going to bed, I checked quickly what's there, and all the Fable 5 magic mentioned by AI influencers disappears when you are facing reality. You need to create a database, sign up to some services, provide API keys, at least buy some VPS or set up Vercel to host somewhere your application. So because of things like that, the project wasn't run autonomously, and only in the morning I managed to provide everything and left it until 17. The result is what politely called in the industry a piece of AI slop. Almost everything working, but it's too far from production. And you know what? I would get literally the same result with Opus 4.8 and even Opus 4.6 back in 6 months with all my development skills and workflows. To make it production ready, I had to apply to my project the secret ingredients that can be generated only by humans. The problem I'm observing in the market is that 99% of people are waiting from every new model that it can start thinking for them, generate good ideas and have a good taste. But it's impossible and probably never happens. Look, even if it will happen, the sense of life will totally disappear. You can relax, the gap between you and, let's say, Elon Musk will vanish. There will be no any sense to create businesses and compete with others on the market. It means that machines will take everything we are living through, a new evolution step of life on Earth. Probably they wouldn't kill us, instead they create places like zoo parks and watch on us like we are watching on monkeys. Thinking, ideas, taste are the things that keep people still important for this world, and AI still cannot generate it. Of course, AI is becoming better and better, almost perfect in following instructions and do short as well as long routine jobs, but if they are deterministic like programming, of course it will replace a lot of jobs. You need to adapt if you are not yet. If you are already doing some job well and for a long time, you understand it inside out and only you can give AI the instructions so it can do this job well just like you. So the deep knowledge are still important. If you are at school or student, learn all fundamentals from what our world is built: math, physics, chemistry. If you are thinking, should I learn how to code if Claude codes for me? Yes, learn computer science, learn at least one language, learn the networks. Everyone has Claude now, but who will get the money for the work at the end? Vibe coder or the guy who knows how it works and ready to take responsibility for generated code? Returning back to the application I built, here is how it looks now. To make it working well and looks nice, I spent another 2 days actively involving with improvements, about 6 big batches with my edits of business logic, user interface and user experience improvements, optimization and security, despite the product spec was big enough. I think I had to work another 2 days because I didn't follow official Anthropic's recommendations not to be too detailed when prompting Fable 5. I didn't give him enough freedom. If you want to see whether this app actually goes viral and how I do it with AI avatars, subscribe, that's the one of the next videos. So the new Claude Fable 5 performs very good, just like my Opus 4.8 daily setup. Very good following my instructions, implementation of my edits, and by the way, Anthropic extends its access until 12 July. Probably Fable 5 and Mythos 5 models are really much better than their predecessors, but I don't see the difference in coding tasks. I think coding is already too easy for AI starting from Opus 4.6 generation. Probably to see the difference you need to work with it in quantum physics or biotech fields. Let me know in the comments if you know something about that. The best way to support me is to subscribe, and don't hesitate to check my personal website with all my apps, for example Clip, we actively developing it right now, and see you in the next videos.